welcome to Native Wellness Institute's Wellness Wednesday. Nistuni Doniko Makoyo Sakoyi. Woohoo! You can tell with my voice, I just got my voice back this morning. So I just wanted to come and share a little bit of time with you. Now, how did I get my voice back? So these are old Indian tricks. What's an old Indian trick? OIT. I'll start off, I'm coming to you live from Lower St. Mary's on the Blackfeet Reservation. And today is Eni Day. Everyone's harvesting Eni today. So you're welcome to come on over. And there's a buffalo chili contest between 4 and 5 on the Blackfeet Reservation just outside of Browning. So please come on over. But I wanted to start off, I am serious. I started losing my voice after I was in the Southern Ute recovery retreat, and there was a couple hundred people. And Dwight, Francisco, and we had worked with youth. We'd done 3 workshops back to back. And then we were invited into the large room, and we did a round dance in acknowledgement of elders. And then this is about self-care and healing. I was eyeballing, like when you eyeball the acupuncture team, Avanti, and there was several, and they're little old ladies who've been doctoring with acupuncture. And so we were getting done, and I ran over, and I had my friend Ruby and Colleen with me. And Ruby is, very elderly, and in a wheelchair, and she had come for some healing. So I went over to the acupuncture people, and I said, by chance, could I really ask a favor? I've been working all day. I traveled from Sixikai in Alberta in a dust storm, 85 miles per hour. I got up at 3 a.m. and flew here. And then I just did 3 workshops back to back. Now, you guys know that's too much, right? 70-year-old badass auntie, that's too much. So I said, could you help us? Could you give us an acupuncture treatment? And they looked at me, and they said, by all means, okay, everyone's supposed to close up. And so we started. I went and got my friend Ruby. She was in the room where Dwight and I were doing our workshops, and we wheeled her down. And so as usual in the self-care field, we want the elders. I was not 92, or I was not 89. I was not 87 like her. I was 70. So I said, well, can you doctor her first? So they were so kind. They were so compassionate. They visited with her and asked for the things. And she needed an interpreter. She don't speak much English. So she had to go through speaking Navajo to English to Navajo, and then speaking in terms of healing. And so long story short, we both got an acupuncture treatment. So when it came to my turn, and I'm always just honest when I go and get acupuncture. So I asked them, I said, can you please help me with my grief? Now, up to this point, I'm just fine, just speaking normally. Everything's fine. And I said, I really have deep grief about one of my nephew's son's swift current. And then I have deep grief because one of my close friends, Beverly Hungry Wolf, just passed. Then I have deep grief with a couple other people that just passed in the last couple of days. And so they sat me down, and I'm just sharing with you. And you know, in your ears you have healing points. And I had, apprenticed under Avis Archambault. So I knew, the lung, the kidney, the chi, the heart. There's and there's points in your ear in which it'll help release. And boy, I'll tell you, when they took that needle and they stuck it in the grief, it hurt like hell. It like went in, and that means my grief was stuck. That means I was holding on to my grief. And I now understand it, because grief always will manifest itself in your respiratory. And I'm just glad that I can share this with you. So when you start to get a cold, or you start to lose your voice, or you start to be nasal, that may be your body just releasing grief. So it's good to cry. I was crying all day we were in talking circle. So like a 15-hour day crying with people and laughing with people. Same thing. Laughing and crying are the same thing. It goes up your spinal cord and just branches at the very end. That's why we cry for happiness and we laugh at tragedy sometimes. So they started, and then they put in the other needle in the kidney. And that also hurt. Oh God, it just hurt like heck when they stuck that in. So that means, kidney, and this is what Avis had taught me about acupuncture, is we might have a lot of worry or fear. And when they stuck that needle in, ooh, it hurt. It hurt. And then they stuck one for the heart needle to help your heart. And that was when, man, I could feel it. I could feel my body was storing some of the emotions that I needed to release. And doing work, when you're, it's called compassion fatigue. When you're doing work with people, you can overflow with compassion fatigue. And then they put a needle right in where the chi, like the balance of your mind, body, and spirit. Woo! They said there was even a little bit of blood. So what that said to me is that, I had been giving, and not receiving back. And that's okay, because like when we're working, Native Wellness Institute, we try to keep the teachings of our ancestors alive. So while we're working, just work us 8 hours, not 15, especially your 70-year-old badass auntie. Anyway, when they put that in, I could feel, I got rid of all the noises around in the room. I wasn't paying attention to anyone else. And I just went into my body, into myself, and I needed to rebalance. And so sometimes, they'll put the needles in, for a 20 minute, half-hour session. We were there for 2 hours. 2 hours. Talking. And, so then Grandma Ruby, and I'll just say, thank you, Grandma Ruby, because I kept touching her hand. I kept touching her. And it's like we were cohesively healing together. So I just, a shout out to when you're with the elders, the best thing you can do is like take their hand. You don't even have to say anything. Just take their hand. Just hold them a little. Just touch the back of their shoulders. Just touch. And so for 2 hours, and then, there was Dwight and another young man. He only had 4 weeks sobriety. They were scared to do the needles, but they did. We collectively decided to heal the healers. So in this, and it was like 3 hours later, almost into, it's ended around 3 something, and it was after 6, and we all had an acupuncture detox. They called it acupuncture detox. And so I'm just sharing that with you. So then immediately, all I wanted to do was relax, because after, a 15-hour day, I wanted to get something to eat and relax. And so that's what I did. And when I woke up, my voice was gone. Totally, totally gone. And so then I said, it's jabat to be op. No gaki mokit, no guspo mokit. It's jabat to be. You're telling me something through my body that I need to pull back. I need to have like a recess. I need to reset. So I got up and I took a hot bath because I had an early flight. I had to take the rent-a-car back. And so I messaged Jolene at Native Wellness. I said, Jolene, I've lost my voice. I'm going to do self-care. Can you have someone replace me? And she did. And so that's when you pull back, and that's part of what today's, Power Hour, Wellness Wednesday is about, is when we have to pull back and we have to take care of ourselves, do it. And so I immediately, and I know some of us, we can't because we have to get the paycheck. We have responsibilities. We think we need to do all that, but you don't. You can pull back and take a recess and take a rain check on everything. And that's what happened. So, so it's crazy as heck because this morning all of my teachings, a lot of our teachings come from Wilbur Fish. 31 years ago, we apprenticed under Wilbur Fish on the Blackfeet Reservation. And so Wilbur he'd say, and I'm just putting this plant right here. You can see this plant. And it hangs above my bed, by my grandfather's pipe. I took this plant, and we call it Minigupi, which means the bachelor. And Wilbur always said, if you feel like you're congested, if you feel like you're got the flu, or you feel like, he said, all you have to do is boil up some of this plant. And as you can see the purple flower, this has been dried. I picked this last year because you always get your plant and then you use it up in 1 year. And so I hadn't used it. I haven't been sick, but I realize now in unresolved grief or grief, I needed to take this time off. And so this is how you work with the Creator. I said, it's about to be, I'm going to boil up some of this Minigupi, and I'm going to drink 2 hot cups of this Minigupi. And if my voice comes back, I'm going to come on because these are my responsibilities to come on for 1 hour. To come on for 1 hour and to talk about positive, productive, and proactive healing. So I'm just holding up this plant because it smells so good. I could smell everything. It was almost like a laryngitis. So I'm just sharing with you this Minigupi. We pick it. It grows quite a bit along here, more along the lake this way. And I always, Wilbur always told us that these purple flowers carry the most medicine, and that you should always dry it and hang it upside down because all the medicine goes to the flowers and goes to the leaves. And so I boiled it up. I got up, did my smudge. I started a fire because it's really raining right now, and I like to burn wood. I burn wood. Been living here 31 years. On Lower St. Mary's, way up in the mountains. I'm way far, far away from the city, far, far away from... There's no noises here except animal noises. And this is how I prefer to live. So this Minigupi, and I think, the white people call it horse mint. And so I'm just sharing. So I drank it, and voila, my mom just called me to check on me, and she's always, she said, I'm just checking on you. And I go, hi, Mom. She goes, you got your voice back. And I go, I drank some Miniguppy. So I want to go on for a little bit and to do Wellness Wednesday. So welcome to Wellness Wednesday. You know, Native Wellness Institute. And we're busy right now. You know, thank you, Dwight. He's doing a training for me today at Washoe Housing. So send some prayers to Washoe Tribe, who wants to heal all of their workers in housing so that they do a better job of providing housing for all of Washoe Nation. And they have a lot of departments. But anyway, Dwight, thank you for taking over and filling in. And that's what a team is about. When one of our team members, you know, just like what happened with our team member Wade, you know, when one of your team members is not available, the other team has to step up. So thank you for doing that. But you know, at the same time, you know, I have a very good friend named Sue Bechtel, who in Shoto is her funeral today. I wanted to go, but I can't go. And that's what happens when you take care of yourself. You want to go, but you say, no, I need to take care of myself. It's also about recovery. You know, I was just feeling so grateful, you know, for HALT. Don't be hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. And I needed to sleep. I just needed to. So I, you know, took care of what I needed to, and I came home and I just been resting. Well, actually, I've been binging a little bit on Netflix. I got all my favorite food. I even got some from Panda Express, all my greens. I got all my favorite food. I got some roasted chicken. I got some sourdough. And I got my cozy pajamas. And then I just got this really nice, beautiful t-shirt, you know, from Sixty Kai. When I went up there, God, they know how to treat their elders. They helped pay for my gas, for my room. They helped, they gave me this t-shirt. They gave me these beautiful, beautiful, like ribbon skirt. They gave me so much. And that was, for the first time, I was sitting in a circle of elders at Sixty Kai, and no one was looking at their phone. I sat with them for 2 hours, and we all visited. They all wanted to know about Heartbeat. They all wanted to know about Browning. And it was so cool because, you know, some of them, just in their soft voice, they said, you know, I got relatives in Browning. I got relatives in Montana, but I don't know them. And, you know, so I would listen, and I said, well, tell me their names. Maybe you could come down and visit. Maybe I could tell this relative to come up and visit you. You know, so a lot of them were related to the Cathropes. A lot of them were related to the Monroes. A lot of them were related to Eagle Ribs. A lot of them, you know, were related to the Heavy Runners. A lot of them were related to John Enault Eagle Ribs. A lot of them were related. We were all related, you know, and I really want to thank Corey Duck Chief. I want to thank Lucy Wright. I want to thank my niece Hannah and my other niece Sandra Manyfeathers. You know, because there were so many people that they just acknowledged me and just loved me up. And I think that loosened up my ability to do deep healing with unresolved grief. And it was just so beautiful because, you know, I stayed in Strathmore at a really nice place. I hot tubbed. I, you know, took care of myself. And when I went there, it was just everybody. We had a grand entry with all of the Kamipoismaniks, the women's stand-up headdress. They really, they take care of their women. They acknowledge their women. They acknowledge their matriarchs. And so that was so beautiful when we had the grand entry in. And then I got really nervous because, you know, I would guess I was the only one from America. It was all mainly Sixty Kai. There was Kainai. There was all of their departments. But I was the only one because they had invited us. They sent a special invitation. to all of the stand-up headdresses to come. And so I had put it on my calendar. And I'm so glad I did. Thank you. Thank you so much. I put it on my calendar. And so they asked me to speak. And I'll just share with you, that morning I had been thinking about Andy Blackwater. And when BCC, when Natuwa Pisaki, Carol Murray, and Lola and Leah Whitford, they had done in 2005, they did this gathering of Lame Bull Treaty. And I'm just encouraging you, please know your treaties. So this was 2005. And so that was one of the things that I reminded everyone there is Andy Blackwater, and there was other elders from each of Siksikai, Kainai, Abutsa Pikani, and Amskapi Pikani, and they had come together and they all smoked their pipes and they made a pledge. This is in 2005. And Andy Blackwater, that's when he made the Siksaketipi flag with the four of us. And he said, in the future, the four of us have to help each other. It's just imperative, and it when the four of us are helping each other, the three in Alberta and the 1.5 million acres down here, Amskapi Pikani, he said, we'll get through whatever the challenges and the obstacles that are coming our way. And so that was what I got. And so it's not me, I guess, like I'm just the messenger. And he made that flag, and he said, wherever we go, if there's just one of us. So think about that. Always carry your tribal flag with you. If there's just one, you are the ambassador for your people. You are the ambassador for all of the language. You are the ambassador for the storytelling. You're the ambassador for the medicines, like this medicine. I just decided to, how can we help each other? This is of help. This medicine can help any human being, but especially for the Blackfoot, this medicine can help you with the healing of your lungs, of your grief, of your spirit. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that, because he said that, the unity, the helping each other, and you see this over and over. You see whose heart really wants to help others, way beyond their own ego. And that's what recovery is about. That's what sobriety is about. Way beyond we do take care of ourselves, but we have a sincere, I think about Lisa Forehorns. I hope you're listening. I think about all the workers at our nurturing center, our child protective services, our missing and murdered workers. I think about all of these women and men and LGBTQ2 spirit who are helping. When your heart wants to help, we also got to take care of ourselves. And I'm saying this to myself because I thought, if my voice comes back, I'll come on. And that's all I'm going to do today. I'm going to continue taking care of myself. I'm going to drink some more Minigupi. I've got some really good food waiting for me for after. And I'm going to talk to my mom, because when my voice disappeared in my family, they reminded me, and this is just in our family, we would always get laryngitis. Because my mom was always standing up in front of groups, with Alcatraz standing up, with the American Indian Healing Center that she started in Oakland, New Dawn and White Cloud Lodge. She was always standing up. With the Indian Child Welfare Act with Jenny Jo, she was always standing up. In 1982, she started the Running Is My High around Lake Merritt. She was always standing up. And so Mom used to get laryngitis. So when I came back, I listened. I started talking to my family, and thank you, Atstanikiwa, my sister, because she loves me so much. She was just saying, well, you don't know what happened, but go make sure that you don't have RSV, you don't have flu, you don't have COVID. And so when you're ill, listen to what people say. So I got dressed And I immediately went to the urgent care in Great Falls, Montana. They have one on 10th Avenue South. It is good. And if you have Medicare, which, I haven't really used it, but this is the first time I have this card. And I went in and they listened to my lungs. The doctors listened to my lungs. They have a good PA there. They have really good staff. And it was so quick. Not like IHS. It's interesting. So just like that, they swabbed my nose. And in one test, they can test for RSV, they can test for flu and COVID. So they did that, and they said it takes about a half hour. So they listened to my lungs, they looked in my ears, and then they saw, because at the acupuncture, they went ahead and they put these little magnets, and I'm supposed to wear it for a week and press on them because that helps rebalance, especially the chi one. It helps rebalance me, my mind, body, and spirit. And so they're going, what's that in your ear? And I go, oh, those are the little magnets from my acupuncture detox. And then I shared with the practitioner. The thing is, she believed me. I said, I'm healing from grief. Our family's healing from grief. Our tribe is healing from grief. And so I got acupuncture detox, and I had a extreme intense treatment for a few hours of needles in my body to help me heal. And so she checked me out. I didn't have a fever. I told her, well, I took some Bayer aspirins. So I didn't have a fever. And she looked at all my other vitals, and she goes, well, you're doing okay. You're healthy. She said, but this is what, and she listened to my voice because, it's Carter, it was that way. And she said, this is what I recommend. When a doctor recommends this, she said, you need to stop talking and you need to rest your vocal cords. So that's like, that's if you speak for a living, which I do, and someone says, okay, you can't do your job, then you got to listen. You got to take that pause. You got to take a recess. You got to take some time off. And so that's what I'm doing this week, except for Wellness Wednesday, because we promised, Native Wellness Institute, we promised starting March 2020 that we would come to you for just 1 hour and talk about healing. So I'm just disclosing and just being transparent to you, that I am doing my healing. So I'm coming to you. So I really want you to think about, if you're listening, how are you doing your own healing right now? Are you in therapy? Are you in 12-step? Do you have safe people, a fellowship to vent to? Do you have, it's kind of humorous because all of my, Timothy and others just said, well, maybe you need to have flashcards. And Lori said I should have flashcards that say, Sugapi, instead of, since I can't use words. And then it really made me think about, what about if you can't use words to communicate? So I started journaling. I've been writing. I got out my, this is my big book. And my big book has big old writing so that you don't have to wear your reading glasses. And I turned to page 83. Here's all my notes. And I was looking on page 83. I have so many notes because I've read this big book so many times. And so many times it has saved my life and saved my recovery. And then friends send me pictures of Bill W. Look at this. Bill W. and Dr. Bob. And I started reading about the promises. And then I started reading, because we always say, when you want to start recovery, get a big book. And this is my big book. And read up to 164. 1 through 164. So I've been reading. I've been looking at notes. I've been looking at how you moved through the steps. And then I was asking, do I need to take another 4th step? So I started writing and journaling. Do I need to take a fifth step? Do I need to make amends? And that's the one I'm journaling on. If, so I'm just going to say, if I have said something to you and it stung or it hurts, I apologize. I apologize. Because sometimes the humor and the sarcasm, we can say something wicked that hurts other people. So here's my big book. And then I'm journaling. I just been writing and writing and writing and writing, just getting my thoughts out. Because it's a good way when you journal just to look at it and reflect and see what you need to change. And bottom line with this big book, and I'm just sharing with you, I had to surrender and give it to Creator. So when I lost my voice, I said, oh, I can't. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And I can't change it. So I need the courage to know the difference. And so I just stopped talking. So I haven't talked since Sunday. I haven't talked since Sunday. Let's see, Sunday. I didn't talk Monday. I didn't talk yesterday. And I just drank this Miniguppy. So for 4 days, I stopped talking. I said, what a blessing. It's just like a 4-day fast. And I got off of social media. I would just post a couple of things, and I would look for positive, productive, and proactive encouragement. So for 4 days, I just realized that for 4 days I was on a fast. I didn't talk till I'm talking to you now. Then I drank the Miniguppy, and then my mom called like 10 minutes before I went on. She goes, I'm just checking on you, Nellie. That's what she calls me, Nellie. That's my middle name. My Grandpa Cooper's mother was named Nell. My mom is Betty Nell, and I'm Theta Nell. So I love, and even my baby brother, he's 64, he calls me Nellie Belly. Nellie Belly. So I drank the Miniguppy. Again, this Miniguppy, and I can speak again. So I just wanted to come on. So the message today is about taking time off, taking a recess, taking a pause. And as I was taking a pause, I started to do things around. I replenished all of the bird seed because I have birds that are starting to nest in the bird houses. I have 1, 2, 3 bird houses. And then I have, I got fresh hummingbird food. And since I was refreshing, I bought all brand new hummingbird feeders. And so I put up 2 new feeders. And so I've been watching these 4 days while I've been talking. And it makes me want to cry for happy. I've been watching all of these. I have all of these hummingbirds that just fly around my house and just stay around my house. This morning, there's big colored hummingbirds. They just come around, and like when I'm standing outside, you hear zzz, zzz. One was like flying around me. And so I said, thank you, hummingbird. You're flying around me. You're doctoring me. I'm taking care of myself. I'm eating good. I'm sleeping good. I did take some Buckleys because, in Canada, they have Buckleys. They're kind of like Buckleys is an old Indian trick. If you're a singer, you would take a swallow of the Buckleys to get your vocal cords. So I took each night I took some Buckleys nighttime, and I slept, and I smudged, and I slept, and I smudged, and I slept, and I smudged, and I woke up, and now I feel like I'm refreshed and I'm renewed. Not completely. I was saying to myself, I think I need to go a couple more days And maybe after I get off here, I just won't talk. I'll text. I'll journal. And I've been texting. I let all of those who are closest to me know that I lost my voice and ask for prayers just for the healing. But that even, the doctor, when they took the test, it came back negative RSV, negative flu, negative COVID, and all of my signs were good. And that told me, it's a spiritual thing. Vicarious trauma is real. I heard so many rough stories this past couple of months. I hear people's stories. I pray with them. We're in talking circles. We do a lot of letting go ceremonies, letting go of the past. So some of that had, like flypaper, had stuck on me. And that's, there is, if you're in the helping field, you might burn out. You have to take time off and rest. And you come back stronger. This morning, I had a real good dream. I won't name the names, but I think I dreamt about Bup Murray. Bup has been gone since 2008. And his father, anyway, it was a very good dream where we were triumphant. And then I saw that all of our people are in Missoula, Montana, getting back our artifacts, telling our Napi stories. And again, it doesn't have to be me. Just be part of the group, part of the collective of healing. So I lit smudges. I just been lighting smudges of ground medicine, of flat cedar, omagussus, bear root, osha, sweet pine. I just been lighting smudges because the answer is in the medicine. When in doubt. And now I'm just tripping off. Yep, like for 4 days I haven't talked till I'm talking to you. And it doesn't hurt, but I don't think I should laugh too loud. I was gonna try to. This is a practice. La, 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 la. See, I can't even lulu quite. La, 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 la. Like a white lady, huh? La, 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 la. One time at the bundle opening on Mother's Day, we had some outsiders, and one of the white ladies got so excited when it came time to Lulu, she went. And what do all the black feet do? Turn around like, who made that strange noise? She was just happy. She was just trying to, and I could tell that Luluing is putting a strain on my voice. So I just wanted to come to you today. But when in my reading, in my journaling, I started to go back to, what are the Napi teachings? What are the Iktomi teachings? What are the rabbit teachings? What are the trickster teachings? And I started to, and I'm just going to share, I started since, the buffalo, if you come here today, we're harvesting, having a buffalo chili contest. Yesterday, there was some of our Ixkanaks and some of our Ganaxtimida were sweating. Thank you for your prayers at the base of Chief. And then tomorrow, we have more activities. We have panels. We have speakers about what the teachings of the buffalo are. And then on Friday, and I'm just, say the prayer, I'll see how I feel. We're having Indian Relay. So thank you, Urban Carlson. Thank you, Chaz Racine. Chaz, my hat's off to you. Chaz helped me when I won the lottery a couple years ago, helped me harvest a bull buffalo. And we gave it out to all of our ceremonies, and we gave it out to our families. And I just recently ate the last of the buffalo. There might be one more. I've been saving it. It's like buffalo boiling meat. I still have elk. Thank Dave Kennedy, because after Swift Current took his life last August, I didn't know what I would do because he always got our elk tags. He always got our elk for us. So his friend Dave Kennedy stepped up and got us 2 elk. So our freezers are full. Still have a lot of, oh, I love elk hamburger. So I think I'm going to take some out and cook some. I need to eat. And when you're down like this, I just been eating really good broccoli, really good cabbage, really good green beans, really good chicken, really good, just eating for health, eating for restoring. And so in a way that I think that's so I was thinking about that Napi story, and and this is from memory, and sometimes that's the other part of this healing. This 4 days that I haven't been talking, I've been feeling like I've been like going in and out of like a different kind of like dimension, or I've been feeling, because I'm awake, I would go down and grow tobacco and put it in water. I went out and I put tobacco where my brother's sweat lodge used to be, on all of his sweat rocks. I've been going out and putting tobacco on now all of the Savis berries, or the Saskatoon, have blossomed. So you have to go out and you have to look to see where all of the berries will be coming, because there's white blossoms right now. So I went and I put out tobacco that this year we would have a lot of berries, and so far it's looking pretty good. I almost want to take you outside and we can look at some of the cherry blossoms. But first, I was thinking about that buffalo laughing story. And so I'll just kind of share it from memory, because the buffalo laughing story, it was about Napi. And right after, the leggings that caught on fire, he was with his little brother Kit Fox. So it was Napi and Kit Fox. And they were both hungry, and autumn was starting to come, winter was coming, and they had gone for several days, and they were kind of like by the Red Deer River. They found nothing. They had been looking. There was nothing to hunt. There was nothing to eat. And then they went by the little Bow River, and they were really starving, and they had kind of come over this hill. And when they came over this hill, Napi saw 4 big bull buffalo, but they were laying down on the grass, and they were just, laying there. And so he backed up really quick so that they didn't see him and they wouldn't get startled. And so he said to his little brother, Kit Fox, he said, let me think about this. He said, I think I have a plan. I have a plan at how we can get those buffalo and get some meat, because it is getting chilly. So he asked his Kit Fox brother, he said, he said, I have this plan. He said, you should let me pluck all of the fur off of you and just leave a little tuft of hair at the end of your tail. Pluck all of your fur. And I'll wait here, but I want you to go out, and I want you to just act goofy, to act crazy, to act like a clown, to get out there and get up on the ridge and just start acting crazy and dancing and singing. And I kind of think about that, because like when they invite outsiders to dance at our powwows, and they get mesmerized by the drum and get out. So anyway, the Kit Fox got out there, and the buffalo, when they first seen him, they all stood up, like whether it was something unusual. Here's this Kit Fox just dancing and twirling and standing up on its hind legs, and twirling and acting goofy. And so the the buffalo started laughing, because that's what Napi had told him. He said, we're going to arrange for these buffalo to laugh themselves to death. So so they looked up and they saw Kit Fox, dancing and parading back and forth. And they fell over. The buffaloes started laughing. They fell over and they laughed so hard they laughed themselves to death. And remember, it's getting cold, so they laughed. Here they are, 4 buffalo, all dead. And since they're harvesting today, we'll have to see what the stories are when they harvest or they kill this buffalo today in 2026. So they laughed themselves to death, and so Napi went down there and was cutting them, skinning them, getting meat, getting ready to he was saying, telling his Kit Fox brother, oh, we can laugh and sing. We'll have enough meat and that's when you harvest, we'll have enough meat for winter. Well, we can feed everybody. It's always about feeding everybody, not just yourself, not being selfish. So he kept talking to Kit Fox. He goes, oh my gosh, and he's singing a little, just, butchering, cutting the meat. And he kept talking to Kit Fox, and there was no response. And so he kept cutting the meat and just saying, yes, it's getting cold. And it was getting cold. There was some snow flying across there, And he turns to Kit Fox and he said, how come you're not answering me? And he went over and he looked, and Kit Fox was frozen to death. He had died also. So remember, when someone asks you to take some of your own protection off, maybe you shouldn't listen. I don't know. But Kit Fox, Kit Fox froze to death. And that's kind of like the end of the story. These are stories, Napi stories, trickster stories. And even, like sometimes when people pray, Hi o Napi Natusi, to Napi, to the sun, we're asking the trickster. Even think about even our words like Napi Koan, what we call white people, Napi Yaki, what we call white women, Napi Quinn, what we call white men. They're tricksters. They're tricksters, and that the base word Napi, they're tricksters. That's how we've seen them. They're trying to fool us. They're trying to, in those ways, have us do outrageous things. And that's when we do self-care. That's when we go back to the basics. And when I was drinking, because Wilbur always said, drink it as hot as you can. It will soothe your throat. It'll soothe your lungs. And it makes me want to cry now because I even feel like I'm getting some tears. So it's almost, I wanted to come to you. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Welcome to, Native Wellness Institute. Our whole focus since the 80s and the last 26 years with a 501c3 is to keep the teachings of our ancestors alive. And so I wanted to come and, and I trust this medicine. This medicine, when I drank it this morning, brought back my voice. And as you could tell, it's not quite back. So I shouldn't be laughing as hard. And thank you, Dr. Bonnie Duran. You were the one always telling me that, she's a Buddhist, that we learn the most when we're quiet. We learn the most when we don't speak. We learn the most when we're silent. So I was thinking about, thank you, Bonnie Duran, because I've been not talking for 4 days. Jeez. Talk about, the patriarchy. This is different. You're always telling us to shut up. So F you. It's different when it's spiritual and you just don't talk for 4 days. Then the medicine listens. And I think the medicine, because I said, well, medicine, we were having this conversation because I developed a relationship with this medicine. It's a protection. Always. And I said, if you I'm going to drink some hot Like I said, I boiled it. I just boiled it regular on top of the stove. I could have put it on the wood stove. I boiled it, and when I drank it, I said, medicine, if I'm supposed to share today on Wellness Wednesday, which I made a promise, it's my give back. You can't keep it unless you give it away. That's what recovery is about. If my voice comes back, I'll come on. And then if my voice didn't come back, I guess we'd just be talking. Anyway, so now my voice came back. So, but I could just tell right now it feels like it's being strained. And I just wanted to come to you, Native Wellness Institute. You know, we're right in the midst. I think next week we got 4 trainings going on. I'm going to be in Bishop with Shailene. My sister Lori's heading out. Wade, Jean, Jolene. We're all in fact, we're in training right now. There's a Zoom going on, Wellness in the Workplace, yesterday and today. I told Jolene, no, I can't talk. And so I said I would, and I don't think I can do a Zoom with flashcards. So we were laughing. And we were just texting, so I'm just texting that kind of communication. But I'm going to ask you, all of you that I met, even at Sky Ute Event Center, say a prayer for me. I really, practicing, 38 years sober, but right now, being 70 years old, it's different. Something is different in a good way. But I want to take better care of myself as I'm encouraging you to take better care of yourself. Is that we don't have to spin 20 plates. We don't have to spin 10 plates, even 5 plates. Just keep it simple. Do one thing at a time. Say your prayers. And that's good enough. And in this healing right now, and my journaling, I was really journaling about everything I needed to let go of. Let go and let God. Memories, not to think them, but not to let them ravel around in your head or your spirit. And that, just letting, Beverly Hungry Wolf, 76 years old, what she did for our people, all of her teachings. And then I started to appreciate those still alive. Cecilia Fire Thunder, still teaching us today. I started to think about all the matriarchs, even my own mother. This really made me think. Mom has been showing me how to take care of yourself all this time. She'll be 88 in October. Still driving. Still driving. Still thriving. Going slower, but going out there and enjoying life. And that's what, as I was, and the grieving, there's a bargaining part. I told Creator, okay, you've shown me by being silent for 4 days and just taking care of simple things around the house, with my prayers, checking in with people. I hope Ada Benz, I hope you listen to this. I'm just praying for you, sister. I just love you. Thank you for checking in with me. I want to say congratulations to one of my longtime friends, Linda Herrera, just celebrating 39 years of sobriety. I want to say something to Dr. Sydney Stone Brown. I think she has 55 years of sobriety. I have my alive and my not alive friends. But this letting go, and I think that'll be my message. I really had to journal of the things I needed to not have any regrets about past relationships. Even if you married them, even if you had children with them, to let it go, to keep it simple. So I was journaling because some of the people that the men, even the men that I married, are gone now. And I had to just remember the good times and let that go. I had to, people that treated me bad in the past, I had to let that go. That's on them. because I had to pray for them. They say always pray for your enemies 15 days in a row. Oh, well, it was 4 days in a row. I didn't want to carry anything. I wanted to be free. And right now, as I'm saying that, I almost feel like I am lighter here. Like my whole body is lighter. Like I'm ready to live. But I'm going to finish healing here. I got a couple more days. Every day, I'm just going to concentrate on my sobriety, keeping it simple, checking in with people who are sober. Don't be hanging around people who are still drinking and social drinking. They're bad news. They're chaos junkies. And they enjoy when you're not doing well. So don't listen to them. Just talk to people in recovery. So Native Wellness Institute, we come to you. This is part of Wellness Wednesday. And it's like a miracle that my voice came back right before I came on. And my laugh I was laughing this whole time, mainly at myself. Laughing at myself, laughing at things, because you heal with humor. So I'm just going to say that much here, and I'm going to get off, and I'm going to stop talking. So I just want to say, thank you for tuning in. Native Wellness Institute, as always, the teachings of our ancestors. And I just have to say, this Miniguppy, I'm just going to have one more cup of this Miniguppy and enjoy the day. It's Wellness Wednesday. And we'll see you next week.